Hey, seventh grade, how are you? Mrs. McClear here. I am going to read the Google form for social studies today. There was a lot of reading, so I thought maybe some of you would be struggling with that. So, document 1, Panama route. What kinds of things were happening to discourage people from making their way to California? About 3 weeks since, we heard that there was a schooner down the coast which could be purchased cheap. So, Colonel Carmichael, the leader of our company, and Mr. Huntington, the leader of a company from Oneonta, Otsego County, started off down the coast to purchase her. From the exposure, or from some cause, Colonel Carmichael was taken with the fever of the country. He was brought back and every attention paid him that was possible, but he died in 2 days after his return. And James Haggart, another of our company, and the man I had intended to take with me, who had been laboring under the dysentery fever, supervened upon his case, and in spite of the best medical attendance which the city could afford, and which was good, he also died, and they were buried side by side about 3/4 of a mile out of the city. At these calamities, 2 of our men became discouraged and have gone home. Okay, so what did this article talk about? Fever, death, dysentery, or all 3 of the above? Document 2, the overland route. Why does the author of this letter suggest not making the trip to California? There was some talk between us of your coming to this country. For God's sake, think not of it. Stay at home. Tell all whom you know that are thinking of coming that they have to sacrifice everything and face danger in all its forms. For George, thousands have laid and will lay their bones along the routes to and in this country. Tell all that death is in the pot if they attempt to cross the plains and hellish mountains. Say to Plater never to think of the journey, and as for you, stay at home, for if my health is spared, I can get enough for both of us. William Swain, 1850, in a letter home describing his overland journey to California. Okay, ask yourself, did he talk about the hellish or difficult mountain crossing? Did he talk about that? Hellish mountains. Did he talk about the likelihood of poor health? My health is spared. Did he talk about the likelihood of death? If he talked about all of those things, then you need to pick all of these right here. If not, then pick the one that he did talk about. Document 3, Cape Horn route. What were some of the hardships faced by settlers that journeyed to California using the Cape Horn route? I am here and will and hope these last few lines will find you and the children well and comfortable. I have had a first-rate passage. I enjoyed it well. I have directed a letter to your father today, giving some description of the journey, which you will see. The fare on living on the boats for deck passengers was very bad, viz. Salt, musty beef, and pork, and sea biscuit for a meal, then coarse cornmeal, mush, and poor molasses for another, then boiled dried apple hard bread another, bean soup another, and so on. Pretty bad fare. Chandler, N.A., California, 1855. Ask yourself, what was he talking about? Why was the journey bad? He only really talked about one thing. What was that one thing that he talked about? Okay, that should hopefully help you with the social studies today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Mrs. Page, Mr. Caffarella. Other than that, have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.